Minnesota Highway Patrol says charges are pending against the driver. Troopers say 23-year-old Dominic Billmeyer of Chatfield, Minnesota, lost control of his car on Walsh County Road 15 near Minto last night and rolled. Both passengers were thrown from that car. Billmeyer has minor injuries. 25-year-old Carissa Lunsky of Minto is being treated in Grand Forks. The woman who died will be identified once relatives are notified. We want to get a check of those travel conditions with your road report this morning on your fast track to the top of the hour. A few trouble spots around the region today. Kidder County in North Dakota is actually in a travel alert right now. That is between Jamestown and Bismarck. You see that shading right there? That means conditions can change quickly in that area. But let's take a look at our metro here as I am zoomed in on our tri-level of I-94, I-29. Seasonal conditions right now in the metro. That is good news. However, as we take I-94 out to the west this morning, we have a mix. We have portions of it that are partially snow covered from West Fargo to Castleton. Then Castleton to Valley City, we're talking about frost on the road. And then again from Valley City to Jamestown, more frost on the road there with just kind of some intermittent spots of partial snow coverage as well. So you need to watch out for that. We have partial snow coverage as well taking I-29 to the south from Fargo down to the Christine exit. We're talking about some partial snow coverage. And then Christine going all the way down to the South Dakota border there. You see that yellow line? That is partial ice coverage. Now that's the same with Ransom, Sargent, Dickey-Lemoore counties. They are going on and off between the roads there of partial ice, partial snow coverage. So be careful. Heading north of Fargo on the interstate around Hillsboro, we're also dealing with a little bit of snow on the roads. And then once we get closer to Grand Forks, we're dealing with some frost on the road as well. And that's very much the case from Grand Forks going west all the way to just about Lakota this morning. Frost on the road there. On the Minnesota side for you this morning, Highway 2 East Grand Forks going all the way over to Fosston. We're dealing with some partial snow coverage. That continues south of Crookston going down to Ada. And then the next trouble spot, Highway 10. Hawley all the way to Perham. Actually, it looks like Glendon to Perham this morning along Highway 10. We got some full snow coverage. I-94, Moorhead, all the way down to Alexandria, snow coverage as well. However, at this time, no crashes have been reported, so that's good news. But to see whether Mother Nature is going to help or hinder your drive this morning, let's head on over to Summer Schnellbach for a check of the forecast.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you all for joining us on this Friday. Some good news, we will be warming up, so road conditions will be improving with melting snow. But this morning, you can see a little shallow layer of fog within the metro, and we're off to a bit of a chilly start. 16 in Fargo, 11 in Grand Forks, 19 in Thief River, a little warmer in places like Bemidji, Detroit Lakes, and Devil's Lake, seeing current temperatures in the 20s. Visibility in the northern valley, especially northern Minnesota, lowest at this time, 3 miles in Wadena, 4 miles in Brainerd, 5 in Fergus Falls. But up in the northern valley, seeing 7 miles in Roseau, 8 miles in Thief River, and 6 in Grand Forks. For today, we will be warming things up, as I mentioned, improving our road conditions. We're looking at temperatures in the low to mid 30s across the Red River Valley today, a little warmer within the trees of Minnesota, some mid 30s, more on par there, with that breeze being strongest through this morning out of the south and remaining a little bit breezy through the afternoon with that wind shifting more of a westerly direction. For the weekend, just a pinch cooler for our Saturday, just a tish below the freezing mark, but we will see lighter winds. Changes by Sunday. We're tracking another winter storm. But for today, let's talk about this first. We're going to see that breeze stick around out of the south and west through this morning, turning more westerly by mid-morning and into the afternoon. Temperatures upper 20s to low 30s by the lunchtime hour and widespread 30s by the drive time home on a Friday. Look at Baudette, 39 by the 5 o'clock hour. So some mild, more spring-like temperatures by this afternoon. We cool back down, refreezing the roads tonight, and with melting leaving moisture in the atmosphere, we are looking at more fog development later. Sunday to Monday, our next snow potential. Still too early for more specific amounts, but there is a risk area for at least 4 inches of snow from Bismarck down through the James River Valley, and heavier banding is again in the forecast. So we're paying very close attention to that through the weekend. Behind this system, Jordan, temperatures falling back into the 20s. It's a little cooler as we head into the first full week of March next week.
I love how excited you got for a high of 39 in Baudette, though.
I'm taking a trip to Baudette after work.
Yeah, I'll drive into the north. Bring your shorts with that
Yeah.
weather as well. Okay, Summer, thank you. It is now 6:53 on this Friday morning. It was all part of a hoax, but it had a lot of people on edge. Police across North Dakota are investigating school threats in Fargo, Grand Forks, Jamestown, and Bismarck. They came in yesterday morning. All of them are part of a trend known as swatting. The principal at Ben Franklin Middle School in Fargo says the dispatch center received a call about an alleged active shooter in the school. Fargo, North, South, along with Davies were put on lockdown. However, police quickly determined there was no credible threat. The Jamestown Police Department received a similar call. However, they cleared that case within about 10 minutes. Those types of school threats can take a toll on the mental health of students and teachers. Many schools are offering counseling to help people cope with the difficult emotions. The director of Mental Health America of North Dakota says the best thing a parent or caregiver can do for a child is to be supportive and give reassurance. Reactions can include a fear of going to school, no longer spending time with their friends, or even having trouble paying attention.
But the good news is that children and youth are usually quite resilient. Most of the time, they will get back to feeling okay soon after that trauma has occurred.
If you are a parent and you're not sure where to start, experts suggest you check out the North Dakota Behavioral Guide for advice. A Fargo man is now facing several charges after police say he stole a car with a child inside. It happened Wednesday afternoon. Police spotted that stolen car about 15 minutes later near Broadway and 17th Avenue North and pulled it over. They say Michael Warren jumped out of that vehicle and tried to run away, but was arrested. The child was found safe inside the vehicle. Warren is now facing charges of reckless endangerment, vehicle theft, and criminal trespassing. A Moorhead man is accused of threatening employees and police after trying to shoplift from a North Fargo store. A worker says he was threatened last week when he confronted 56-year-old Donald Yancey. Officers later found and arrested Yancey at the downtown bus station, where he then threatened and spit on officers. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has signed off on a bill that funnels $5 million in emergency funding to food shelves across the state. It comes just one day after the pandemic-era SNAP benefits were cut to millions of Americans. Because demand for food shelf services is on the rise, that funding will be distributed as quickly as possible. Moorhead City Foresters are making a move on what's usually big trouble. They found the emerald ash borer while pruning trees this winter. The city will now remove small ash trees immediately to prevent the spread of that beetle, and any homeowner impacted by removal or treatment of an ash tree will be notified in advance. The emerald ash borer damages a tree's ability to transport moisture, which then leads to the death of that tree. It's still cold and snowy out there. We know that all too well, but here's something to look forward to. Walleye fishing will be open all summer on Mille Lacs Lake in Minnesota. The state DNR says they are not planning any July closure or live bait ban. They say it's possible because of a lower walleye harvest this winter and improving walleye population. And along the lines of thinking spring and summer, hundreds of exhibitors will be at the Fargo Dome this weekend, giving outdoor enthusiasts ideas for their next adventure. That's where we find the Valley Today's Nishay Taylor live at the Fargo Dome with the 56th Annual Sportsman Show now taking place. Good morning, Nishay.
Good morning, Jordan. I don't know if that was an error, but it's the 58th annual, right? Yes, that's a lot of years going on for this event to be happening in the area. But joining me right now is Barry. He's the organizer, and he is here to share what people can expect. Tell us a little bit more.
Absolutely. When you come to the Sportsman Show, a third of it is campers and trailers, 1/3 boats and docks, 1/3 resorts, lodges, and then a lot of great extra exhibits like that. This is kind of something neat behind us that's been coming out in the camping world for the last number of years, called a toy hauler. So we see a suspended patio here, but it actually ramps down. You put your ATVs or your side-by-side in the rear. Then as you walk towards the front, you get into conventional camper. You got the kitchen, the living room, and the bedroom quarters. So everything in one deal. But when you're really set up, then your ramp becomes your suspended patio. So you got a little deck outside too.
Okay, so how exciting is it to see folks that are like exploring these types of things at your show here?
It's really fun once the show is up and running. I go onto an aisle and I just watch the families file in and out. And you can see in their heads if they're in a camper or if they're on the pontoons, like, well, what's going to go over here and where's the kids going to sit? And you see them going through everything they would do to get really set up. And it's that excitement that's really fun to watch.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I will say inside this camper here is very nice. We were going to be inside, but it was a little too loud, so we couldn't really do too much in there. So that's where we're out here, but it's very nice inside. So folks, if you want to come check out the campers, the boats, the Sportsman Show is here all weekend through Sunday. Tickets are still available.
Exactly.
All right. So folks, if you want to come check it out, this is the place to be. Reporting live at the Fargo Dome, Nisha Taylor, Valley News Live.
Nisha, I have to say thank you for the correction. I misspoke. It is the 58th annual Sportsman Show out there. But all morning long, you've been in campers, RVs, you've been on boats. How does that have you feeling about the upcoming summer season, Nisha?
Well, it has me feeling good. I kind of want to get a camper here or maybe find someone to buy me one because I can't afford it. But, you know, it's pretty fun here with no one here. But I can only imagine how much more fun it really is when folks actually show up. Just as he mentioned, when all these people pile in, you said that there were at least 15 to 17,000 people that show up here. So, yeah, folks. All right. Thank you so much. Sending it back to you.
All right, that sounds perfect, Nisha, getting us excited for summer. Thank you. And thank you for joining us here on the Valley today. Have a great weekend.